Hey there, and welcome to Intro to Essential Oils. My name is Amanda Cartner. I have exclusively been using doTERRA essential oils for the past 6 years, and I have been a wellness advocate with doTERRA, sharing oils with others for the past 2 years. I'm also enrolled in an essential oils specialist certification program, which I will complete in June. I am a mom of 3, I'm a wife, and we use essential oils for absolutely everything. We think of them as our natural pharmacy, and they are our go-to about 80% of the time. There is a natural approach to medicine and a modern approach to medicine, and I believe that there is purpose for both. But as a mom, it's very empowering for me to have natural resources as my first line of defense. And so I got started with essential oils. I'd known about them but had not used them until labor with my second daughter. I had my girls naturally with midwives and doulas, and what I found with my daughter Sophie is that I had quite a bit of anxiety during natural labor, almost to the point that I felt I couldn't do it. And so when I became pregnant with Ava, it was very important to me to look for natural ways to deal with not only pain, but the anxiety and all of the emotions that arise giving birth. And so the first time I used an essential oil was aromatically, and my doula diffused an oil blend called Serenity, which has many uses. It is a blend of oils like ylang ylang, Roman chamomile, vetiver, lavender, oils that are very soothing and calming. And what I found is that as she diffused that, not only did it create a very peaceful atmosphere, but I physically relaxed. My shoulders untensed. I stopped holding my breath. I was able to breathe in to contractions and really get through them so much better than with my first delivery with Sophie. And that oil transitioned very well at home with us when we brought Ava home, and really helped with some of the anxiety and emotions during that postpartum season. And so I discovered that if that oil could help me that much, there may be other resources that we would be able to benefit from as well. And so over the past 6 years, we have transitioned over and started using oils pretty much any way that you can imagine. And so let's dig in. This is Intro to Essential Oils. What I want to cover today is the top 3 things that you must know when using essential oils. And then I want to share with you the 3 ways to use essential oils. And then lastly, we'll talk about how you can get these for use in your own home. Let's dig right in, shall we? So the first thing I want you to know about essential oils is that they are natural. Now, when I say natural, it means that essential oils are made from plants. Take peppermint oil, for example. This peppermint oil is made from the peppermint leaf. Now, there are many different ways that we get essential oils, and one of the ways that we get them is from steam distillation. Now, leaf material, which is where we get our peppermint essential oil from, is from the peppermint leaf. Now, let's think about what is the oil in the plant with to begin with. It's there in many cases to help repel predators. It is there to help the plant regenerate. It is there to fend off virus and bacteria. And we use a steam distillation process to extract that peppermint oil from the plant without denaturing the essential oil in any way. And what that means is we do not add anything to the oil, and we do not take anything away from the oil. In steam distillation, to put it very elementary, the plant material is suspended above boiling water. The essential oil rises to the top of the vat and begins to separate from the water, and we siphon the oil off the top and bottle it. And so when I say that it's natural, I can speak for doTERRA in the sense that all of the ways that we use to extract essential oils, whether through steam distillation, cold pressing, or all of our other different methods, which we could teach an entire class on that alone, we do not denature the plant material in any way. And so we're able to utilize these powerful essential oils in our body in exactly the same way that the plant uses it. So peppermint oil, for example, If you have some peppermint oil, go grab it. Some doTERRA peppermint oil, go grab it. You wouldn't want to do this with just any essential oil, and I'll explain that in a moment when we talk about the different grades of essential oil. But if you have a very pure peppermint essential oil, go ahead and put a drop in the palm of your hand. And I am going to show you the power of 1 drop of doTERRA essential oil. So if you are feeling up for it, take your finger and put it in the oil, place it in the roof of your mouth, rub your hands together, cup your hands, and inhale deeply for 30 seconds. Now, what I just did not only will show you the power of 1 drop of doTERRA essential oil. In fact, 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent to drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. But this exercise is very, very good anytime that you are feeling tired. In fact, peppermint is a vasodilating essential oil, and so even now I feel my airways opened, I feel more alert. This is a great exercise to do in lieu of your afternoon cup of coffee. If you want a natural energy boost, it's a great way to get going in the morning. You can put peppermint oil in your diffuser to wake everyone up in the morning before school. You can also do that if you have a headache or any kind of stomach upset. Peppermint is very soothing to the digestive system, and it's an excellent natural cure for headache. Many times, if I have a headache and do that exercise that I just showed you, my headache is gone in about 5 minutes. So essential oils are natural. If you were to look at a peppermint leaf and look underneath the peppermint leaf under a microscope, you would see these yellowy sacs, and those are the essential oil sacs. And it's very powerful that we're able to extract those natural resources and use them in our own bodies, again, without denaturing it in any way. The second thing I want you to know about essential oils is that they are very effective. So pure essential oils, which again, we will talk about grading and purity in a moment, are very important to whether or not you're getting an effective essential oil. But when you do have that potent essential oil like doTERRA, then you have a very effective essential oil. So this is an oil called On Guard. Some oils are singular like peppermint, and then some oils are blends. The Serenity that I mentioned in my personal testimony is a blend, and On Guard is a blend. This is a blend of immune supporting essential oils. Now, what happens if you have a virus? Okay, what happens if you go to the doctor, or let's back up. What happens if you're sick and you go to the doctor and you have a bacterial infection? Well, most of the time the doctor will prescribe you an antibiotic. The reason they do that is if we were to look at a picture of our cells, our bodies are made of trillions of cells. doTERRA is a company that is committed to cellular research and cellular health. Now, the reasoning behind that is because if our cells are not well, we cannot get well. For the most part, when bacteria enters your body, it operates on the outside of your cell. There are some exceptions to that, like bacterial meningitis, which can penetrate your cell. But if you were to look at a diagram of a cell and you were to see that each cell is covered in a fatty substance called the lipid bilayer. Now, bacteria operates on the outside of the cell and for the most part cannot penetrate that lipid bilayer. Now, a doctor will prescribe an antibiotic because antibiotics are water-based drugs. They operate on the outside of the cell, attacking that bacteria. Now, if you are sick with a virus, a doctor usually says what? They usually say, go home and let it run its course. Now, what does that mean? It means that virus can penetrate that lipid bilayer and get inside your cell. Now, once inside your cell, the virus creates a life cycle for itself, and you are not better until that life cycle dies off. That's what they mean by go home and let it run its course. Now, since antibiotics are water-based drugs and flow on the outside of your cells, they can't penetrate that lipid bilayer. Now, what if you have a fatty-based substance like an essential oil? We know that fat likes fat. In fact, essential oils, it takes 22 minutes for essential oils to interact with every cell in your body. Studies have shown us that this On Guard protective blend has the ability to envelop virus and begin to break it down. So instead of just going home and waiting for something to run its course, it's powerful to have a natural substance like On Guard that can begin to support your immune system and the powerful work that it already knows how to do and help to shorten the duration and life cycle of virus. On Guard is very, very effective for this. As a mom, I have seen this time and time again in using On Guard, which we'll talk about uses in just a moment. I have seen viruses, the life cycle shorten and the duration and severity of symptoms shorten in using this very powerful and effective essential oil. The third thing I want you to take away from essential oils is that they are safe. So we've said they're natural, we've said they are effective. The third thing is that they are safe. Again, purity is very, very important. Let's talk about frankincense for a moment. And this is called the king of all essential oils. Let's stop for a moment and talk about sourcing. There are over 55 essential oil companies on the market today. So hear me, when I say that essential oils are safe, I am talking about pure essential oils like what doTERRA produces. We're going to talk about the grades of essential oils so that you can understand the grading and safety specifically. So out of the over 55 essential oil companies on the market today, only 3 consistently show that they produce 100% pure essential oil. Only 3 out of over 55. Those testing results come from an independent third-party test company called the Aromatic Plant Research Center. And they have found over the years that only 3 companies consistently produce 100% pure essential oils. doTERRA is very proud to be one of those 3 companies. Purity is very important when talking about safety. Let me tell you why doTERRA is one of those companies. We do something called co-impact sourcing. We only source plant material from where a plant is natively grown. Let's take frankincense, for example. Frankincense is native to the Middle East, and we source from Oman. Now, the boswellia trees, which is where frankincense essential oil comes from, and there's a beautiful process behind how this is sourced. This essential oil comes from resin, and in fact, it comes from resin that has been scored on the 3rd day from boswellia trees. That's where you get the most potent frankincense resin. Interesting note about boswellia trees is that they thrive only if they do not have direct sunlight nor direct rainfall. Now in Oman, where we source this from, there is a cliff against a seaside that has the boswellia trees, and there's an overhanging cliff above. And so the boswellia trees are sheltered from direct sunlight. They're also sheltered from direct rainfall, but all day long they're kind of kissed by the ocean's mist, and it produces the most potent frankincense in the entire world. And this is where we source from. In fact, doTERRA exclusively sources from that region. Now, why is that important? Well, there's entire science behind why people eat local and why it's important to only source or only eat from plants that are grown in their native habitat. Science shows us that when you source this way and when you extract essential oils from plants at peak in their native origin, then the chemical compounds of those essential oils, the tocopherols, the polyphenols of the plant, are all much stronger. And so when you do that, the essential oil is stronger and much more potent. And so sourcing is very, very important to purity. And if we back up and we look at those 55 some companies, and most of them, you should know, do claim to have 100% pure essential oils. Now, how can they do that if I just shared with you that only 3 of those companies actually produce 100% pure essential oils? Well, it's because essential oils are on the market as cosmetics. The FDA does not regulate cosmetics, and so companies can make any claim that they want, and companies are self-governed. So the majority of those essential oils fall into the market known as synthetic essential oils. Now, these are oils that, think about plug-ins or air fresheners. All of those are synthetic essential oils. What are synthetics? Well, they are chemicals. Chemicals are neurotoxins. They are hormone disruptors. They are endocrine disruptors. Most of the time before 8 a.m., many women and men have covered their body in these chemical neurotoxins. And so if you struggle with migraine or you have anxiety, or really, even if you're healthy, you really need to take inventory of all of the toxins that you are putting on your body daily. Our skin is our biggest organ. It absorbs everything that we put on it. And so not only do you want to make sure that you're using pure essential oils, you want to be using pure beauty products and shampoos and cleaning products. All of these things, particularly with our children, can mess with their mood. And I teach a whole nother class on that, but it's really important to take inventory of all of the products that you're using in your home and on your body. The second grade of essential oils is known as food grade essential oils. Now, food grade essential oils have to pass one test. It's called the GRAS test, which stands for generally regarded as safe. Now, sometimes people will tell me, oh, I like to use essential oils for how they make my home smell, but I would never ingest them. And I kind of chuckle and say, well, you've been ingesting them for years. You just didn't realize it. Food grade essential oils are in everything. They are in lots of baked goods. If you buy muffins from the store, frostings, packaged cookies and things like that, all have food grade essential oils in them. Any food flavorings, these are food grade essential oils. Again, they just passed that one test. The third grading is called therapeutic grade. It's a little bit better than the food grade essential oils. If you've gotten a massage, maybe you have experienced lavender in the salon. It's probably a therapeutic grade essential oil. Lavender for thousands of years has been used for calming and to promote restful sleep. It's also really good for burns. I keep a bottle in my kitchen if I ever burn myself like I did last week. If you put lavender on a burn or an insect bite, it immediately takes out the sting. Very, very effective for that. In fact, I was sitting across from my mom at ballet last week and she kept messing with her hand, and I asked her if she was okay and found out she'd had some warts burned off earlier at the dermatologist, and she had a prescription for some cream but had not gotten to fill that yet. And so I shared my lavender with her, and in about 20 seconds she said, wow, what is that? It's completely taken the burn away. And in fact, I followed up with her. She didn't even fill the prescription because the lavender oil was so effective for managing that burn treatment. So therapeutic grade is mostly diffused. You would not ingest therapeutic grade essential oils. They have not been tested for heavy metals. They have not been tested for mold. And so that's why you'll see if you buy oils at Whole Foods or other places, it says for therapeutic use only. Now, the fourth grade, which is the best grade of essential oil, is called Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. Now, that is what doTERRA essential oils, the category that we fall into. So this frankincense, for example, I'll share with you in a moment, can be internalized. And that is because of, number one, how we source. Number two, we are beyond organic. Number three, we test each bottle 3 times before it gets to you for the things I mentioned, like heavy metals, and for molds, for contaminants, anything like that that could have made its way in. Obviously, if the oil has that, we do not use it. And so this is the purest essential oil on the market today, and you can trust in the fact that you can safely use these all 3 ways. Speaking of that, let's move right into the 3 ways to use essential oils. And the first way is aromatically. Now, aromatic use is the use of essential oils in a diffuser. You can also use them aromatically the way I just showed you with peppermint in your palms. And you can also put them on your skin. That's kind of the largest diffuser is your skin. And so aromatic use is very, very powerful. If you think about the way that you are put to sleep, if you've had any type of surgery, medication is usually diffused over your face. Now, the reason for this is because your olfactory system is very, very powerful. In fact, your olfactory nerve has a direct line of communication to what's known as your reptilian brain, okay? This is the seat of our emotions. It also has a direct line of access to your limbic system. Usually we have to have many synapses before something happens in our body. With your olfactory system, that's not the case. There's a direct line of communication to the limbic system. So what that means is, let's say, for example, that you got some difficult news or you were feeling stressed. Stress usually manifests in our body in a physical way. And so you may notice that your shoulders are tense. Maybe you're carrying tension in the back of your neck. The very powerful thing about using essential oils Let's talk about a wonderful oil called Balance. It's another blend. This is a powerful oil for grounding yourself. If you deal with anxiety, oh my goodness, this oil and an oil called Adaptive are very, very powerful for anxiety. This is a brand new oil that was released this past year specifically for mental health support. These two oils are very powerful when used aromatically. And so when you are getting ready to experience tension or stress, if you diffuse an oil like Balance or an oil like Adaptive, you are able to access your amygdala and your reptilian brain, okay? When you do that, what you can do is intercept negative limbic interactions such as tension or clenching your jaw and send a different signal to your body to relax. You can access your amygdala, which again is the seat of your emotions, and you can intercept that negative emotion and replace it with a positive one. And so not only does diffusing aromatic use of essential oils make your home smell good without having to worry about toxins like in most candles or plug-ins, right, which we talked about are neurotoxic. We are able to not only make our home smell good in a toxin-free way, but you are able to positively impact your emotions and also support your health through aromatic use. Another way that you could use oils aromatically is at night when you sleep. I mentioned the Serenity blend earlier, which is the restful sleep blend. You could also diffuse an oil like lavender at night to help you sleep. So aromatic use is the first way that we use oils. The second way that we use them is topically. Now, let's think about how we might use them topically. I shared with you about peppermint. You could use peppermint topically on your temples if you have a headache, if you're having some tension. Careful not to get it in your eye. In fact, if you did get an oil in your eye, just remember that the antidote to oil is oil. You would want to go grab some coconut oil or olive oil, whatever you have on hand, apply that. That will take out that sting. Another way that you might be using oils topically is for pain. The second most powerful time that oils have dramatically changed our lives is my husband was doing a routine jump out of an airplane in 2016, and he got tangled up in his parachute and his arm went up with his chute and got stuck. And at the time, we weren't sure what he had done, but we knew that he was in a great deal of pain. Now, the Army wanted to keep him green and ready for action, so they postponed an MRI and just prescribed Tylenol, okay? And they also prescribed a stronger painkiller. Now, he did take that at first, but we consider ourselves to be a health conscious family, and we were cognizant of the opioid epidemic in this country and did not want to get hooked on something. And so someone introduced us to Deep Blue. This was early in our oil journey, and this oil is another blend of vasodilating oils that work on inflammation, and vasodilation just means that opens the vascular system. So if you have a pinched nerve, if you have arthritis, if you have restless leg syndrome, if you have anything where your veins are being constricted, this essential oil is very powerful in that it goes through all three layers of your dermis, opens the vascular system, allows for more blood flow, and can alleviate pain. Now, what we found is that when my husband used this Deep Blue oil in conjunction with the Deep Blue rub, there is a rub version of this. We would put a little of the cream in our hand, add a few drops of Deep Blue essential oil, and an oil called Copaiba, which is very similar to CBD oil, in that it interacts with the endocannabinoid system in the body. Fascinating oil. I could teach an entire class on this, but what's nice is there's no THC and no psychotropic side effect with this oil. It comes from a tree in the Amazon rainforest that has been used for chronic pain, anxiety. This oil is a super oil and very, very powerful for many things. But we found when we used the rub and these two oils in conjunction, we could effectively manage his pain without medication. And we have been doing that since 2016. So happy to say he only used those pain meds for the first month and has effectively used essential oils to manage the pain naturally. And so that is a just very, very powerful testimony for our family, and a very powerful way that you can use essential oils topically. Another way that you might use it topically is with an oil like tea tree. Tea tree is actually the first essential oil that, because of all of the studies, and you can look up PubMed if you want to look up doTERRA essential oils and some of the studies that have been done. This is so effective for skin issues that the FDA has approved tea tree for use. So tea tree, also known as Melaleuca, can be used for blemishes, it can be used for eczema, it can be used as natural lice prevention, all sorts of ways that you can use tea tree topically. And then the third way to use essential oils is internally. If we circle back around to frankincense, and again, when I say internal use, I'm talking about doTERRA essential oils. You cannot just use any essential oil internally. That would be dangerous potentially, based on how the oil is made and what has been added to the oil. But doTERRA essential oils you can, and I've been using them that way for 6 years. Frankincense is the king of oils. Phenomenal research coming out on this, specifically around what it can do to cells. Okay, when you watch what happens to cells when you introduce frankincense, phenomenal. Go look that up. So frankincense, I like to put 1 drop in the roof of my mouth daily for overall cellular vitality and health. Frankincense has been studied for its ability in some cases to stop seizure. It's amazing anti-aging. I add it to my cream at night, my facial cream, and it's amazing for anti-aging. The uses for frankincense go on and on and on. Other oils that are really good to use internally are all of our beautiful citrus oils. Now, for the most part, essential oils do not have a lifespan, okay? You will see an expiration date on every bottle of doTERRA. And what's important to note is that they're in these amber bottles because you want to protect them from light and heat. Studies show us that 7 days in consistent heat of 120 degrees or more will make an oil no longer potent. So you don't want to store your oils in your windowsill, and you don't want to store them in your car. Now, most oils will last pretty much forever, despite the expiration date, except for our citrus oils. That is because citrus oils are cold pressed and they have a lifespan of 3 years. So if you have any citrus oils lying around that are older than 3 years, you want to go ahead and toss those. Lemon essential oil is a great oil to add to your water daily. All citrus oils support your body's natural detox and are very cleansing to your organs. Lemon is one of my favorites to put in my water every day. Another one that you might digest is called Digest Zen. This is great for any digestive issues such as stomach upset, nausea, motion sickness. We have effectively managed my daughter Sophie's motion sickness using this one oil. You can apply it to your wrists. You can diffuse it in the car on long car trips and also ingest it. Oils are most effective when used all 3 ways: aromatically, topically, and internally. So now that you know the 3 ways to use essential oils, I want to share with you briefly about how to get them for use in your own home. So doTERRA is a membership-based company, and there are several different ways to purchase these oils. The first way is retail. If you have purchased from your chiropractor or through your gym or through your naturopath, you've most likely paid retail. I don't recommend that to anyone because you're paying the highest. You're paying 25% more. The second way that you can purchase your oils is through a wholesale membership. So we are a membership-based company like Costco. You can join for $35 a year, and then you get access to wholesale pricing, which is 25% off retail for 1 year. That's the second way to purchase them, which is much better than retail. Now, the third way to purchase is the best way. You're going to get your oils below wholesale pricing, and you'll also get a membership included without having to pay the $35 fee. So the third way and the best way is through a membership kit. Now, these come priced for any budget, any size, whether you want to create your own natural pharmacy and get every oil that doTERRA has, which is how I decided to join doTERRA, or whether you just want to get started with a few oils at first. There is a kit for every budget. And so when we do our personal consultation, I will hear from you on your goals. You've invested your time in watching this video. I want to invest my time in you. What we'll do is we'll look at your 3 main health goals, and I'll really listen and try to pair you with a kit that best suits your needs. So thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to talking with you more.